I think that black joy is the ability to still find contentment and peace despite constant persecution and struggle. Because I think to be black in this world, no matter where you are, there's always something. There's always something that's gonna hold you down. I mean, like sometimes I feel like myself moving through the world isn't for me. Like it wasn't made for me, but being able to find some sort of contentment and peace despite that. I think global blackness is, I think, our just innate love for each other, really. I think that there's so many spaces that we're not, we were never like originally welcome. And it's almost that we look after each other and we see each other no matter where we are. I think for the most part, I realized that if we all come together, we can actually make a change culturally. I feel like for a long time, me and many people I know have thought, we just have to figure out how to survive in this world as it is and, make all of these adjustments to fit. Whereas now I feel like we can actually speak our minds and be honest and step into these spaces and say how we feel and not be rejected, almost like reclaim that space for us instead of having to change for people. 5 words. Contentment, honesty, silence, motion, and sleep. My dad would play Congolese French music mostly, soukous music, and it's fantastic. And he would just put it on during dinner, and then we'd all get up and dance. And then a lot of South African reggae, like Lucky Dube, like if you've heard like Prisoner and that sort of thing. I think he has like 6 favorite songs, it's just those ones on repeat. And then my mother grew up pretty much just loving Michael Jackson, so it was a mixture between those two things. Of familiar voices. I love the sound of like a really, really quiet country night, and all you can hear are cicadas and crickets. And especially back in Uganda, it's just loud with crickets and frogs and that sort of thing. I love that sound. I love the sound of hearing somebody come home where you hear the door close. That's one of my favorite. Yeah. I think most openness and honesty. I do feel like when writing, especially for myself, I want to feel a certain catharsis of just making sense of something that I couldn't make sense of before. I hope to communicate an openness and honesty with my music. I think that when I write, there's a certain catharsis I get when I finally made sense of what I'm trying to write about. And I think I want everyone to feel that kind of catharsis no matter what mood they're in when they're listening to it. I think there's a very specific joy that comes at the end of grief. And then that's what I want people to feel. I think I create to exist, and I create to survive and stay sane. I think that, like, as a person who doesn't always have their emotions on their sleeve, having an outlet like this, it almost is just, it's necessary. And it's truly everything. I think when I have a problem, I usually sort of write a song about it. And then if I finally manage to finish the song, I know that I'm done and over whatever I was wondering about, or, however I was feeling at the time. I'm finding inspiration in the ways that people are finding affection in a time where we're all so far apart from each other. Just, just the relationships that we're seeing are the real deal. because I feel like all of the acquaintances and the people that didn't mean that much to us just disappeared at the beginning of quarantine, and now we really know like who's writing, and that's really cool. I find a lot of inspiration in that. Yeah, I think it has. I've been inspired by the movement because I feel like it's been too long since we've really spoken up in this way and been heard in this way. And I feel like, over years there's always been, like the last 2 decades, there's been so many protests that, they fall flat. Like after a while, everybody forgets or something. But we're still living as Black people in this country. And it's interesting to see that we're finally demanding the rights and the treatment that we deserve. And so I want to be part of that.